In चार लोग चाय करेंगे. Today we will try and explore how important is skill development in entertainment industry, be it television, be it films, be it modeling industry, or fashion industry, which is not related to ramp walk, which is all behind in the boutique section and fashion designing. Let's try and understand how important it is for skill development.
We understand by this recent scenario of Sushant Singh and how the case is coming forward and how whatever is
How
happening.
do you see the dots connected from Sushant?
Because that industry itself is like as the facts are coming out, we get to know that skill development is clearly lacking into their section where things are very unprofessional and earning that much money also they do not know what is
Unhandled
professional.
finances,
Yes.
the drugs part coming in, the alcohol coming in, the backstabbing, backbiting, the entire network that how it
Something
goes
that you
down.
see on the streets.
Yeah, in a more, you know.
The streets with the Mercedes. You can say.
Exactly, yeah, right.
So we believe that the entire industry definitely needs the help of skill development because without the skill development it's turned into a thing where people who don't know anything they just feel like I just have to be appealing enough for the camera and I can just go ahead and I can earn that money.
And this casting couch thing also comes in play because, first of all, they think that it's no use by having skill development because casting couch end of the day doesn't care about skill development. We just have to be make ourselves available. We just make that one choice. But like you said earlier, it doesn't stop over there. Once you get into it, somebody might think that it's just a one-time thing, and somehow get the opportunity, then I'll make my dreams. But even to sustain in that industry, you have to keep going through the same process because the process with which you go is a process with which you have to sustain also in that industry. It is talent, it is talent, it is hard work, it is hard work, it is this kind of casting and couch experiences through which you go. It is through that experience only you have to sustain it because that's how you went there. How it starts is always how it ends. This is something that everybody should always understand.
Right, and especially how when it comes to this big time celebrities their kids coming in.
Right.
So
The
that,
nepotism, entire nepotism.
yes.
Their skills are not. Yes, the examples that you were giving when we were speaking earlier about doctors' kids, they cannot go and start claiming that because
Exactly.
my parents are there, it's in my gene, and right now I can be a doctor, I can go and do the surgery. You need that certification, but when it comes to acting industry, entertainment industry, their kids think that they're just there in the gene, the entire thing.
And honestly,
I don't think acting and all that is something that goes from gene. It's definitely somebody's personality.
right. And it is like, it is just another skill that people have to put. Clearly, if you see when nepotism comes under the way, this kids hardly comes with any talent. So, that
Yeah,
would be,
because if they were actually talented enough and all that, people wouldn't ever try and question it.
Yes.
Like, this guy is very fortunate. He just went on with his father.
that happened with Sushant Singh also. His parents doesn't come from any film industry, and I
He's
believe
extremely
that
talented and
yes,
he's worked his way
I
up.
believe there are many people out there, right out there, who can act better than anybody out there.
Right, but the problem is again it comes to skill development, wherein Sushant Singh, unfortunately, it's not just the mistake of the entire circle which has gone wrong on him with that witch hunting, but also on his part the mistake was wherein he's choosing your friend circle, your quality list, the friends and the friendship that he chose. That has costed him. That's also a part of skill development. That means here we're not saying skill as in we teach how to act, we teach how to speak, communication skills.
It is
Skill
a
development is
team.
about an entire personality of yourself, the friendships that you make, the discipline that
It's
you
an
have,
entire lifestyle, I
spirituality, the lifestyle, the food, your health conscience, your spirituality, the way you look at the universe, the scientific aspect, everything comes together and becomes an independent life over there.
And that's how and it shows also when somebody is very.
Yes, how much of a talented he was, the choices that he made by choosing these people as his friends and his circle, it had costed him.
Definitely, and that's why he has ended up in that place altogether, which is very sad for him. But then It was just the wrong choices that can be corrected with other coming people in the industry, or let's say the next generation or whatever, whoever is wanting to go into any industry. Like, let's not only say the entertainment industry, any industry that is out there. Who, if you want to, as you were saying about the IT also.
Exactly, but the HRs are also more or less like the casting couches only of IT industry, like you said. And it's not just people who are the candidates who are coming without having skills, and it's important for them. It's also important for the entrepreneurs out there and the owners, business owners out there to understand this in the management section. That when you're hiring HRs, don't go on the looks basis, be on the personality basis. What they have to, they actually should have an empathy. Empathy should be the first quality of an HR, to empathize with the problem of employee over there. Empathy is purely lacking. They don't even know the spelling of it. I'm sure that if you ask empathy, like you're reading. I'm not taking fun that people might know, might not know. I'm just saying, in general, HRs are totally alien about these kind of things. Theoretically, they say a lot of things, but I myself have witnessed a lot of these things happening. It's all about how their appearance.
And it's mostly women.
You always see these HRs being most of the time in the washrooms only. IT companies going and just setting themselves up. And the casting couch also. The casting couch, the production houses should select those kind of people who actually know what is important. Like, you know. And
but it's not only about the casting couch, the person out there, right, who does the casting. It is also about the producers, other people. Let's say this industry, which comes the entire entertainment industry, these people sitting on the higher table, they come with a lot of money because you know the connections. We don't want to go to the political aspect of this, at least not in this episode.
Right.
But they come with like, you know, yeah. So there's like millions and millions of like, you know, money that is involved in the same thing. So even if you go around to them and if you say like, you know, hey, I'm going to give you a skill development, they'll literally have the security guard and throw you outside of the office. But where you can control this thing is by controlling the artist, because end of the day, artists are the dough of the entire cookies that they're baking.
Yeah, in the same example where one of the times, I think I mentioned it earlier with you, I was having a conversation with my brother where I was asking that, like I always as a child, as a growing up girl, I used to think that actually you should grow up and earn a lot and have fun for is exclusively for the heroines, the actresses in the Tollywood industry at least, or the Bollywood, both of these, and others also, most particularly in India. So where these special numbers are there, and they're earning a lot, why do they prefer to go and have these special numbers? And that is where my brother said that even if you go and tell that person, you're don't do this, I'll give you whatever that money. If you need 1 crore for that special number, 2 crores I'll give you, but don't do it. It's not about that. It's about the exposure that they get to get many more opportunities further. So they don't want to, stand by. Like how you said that they can say if 10 actresses are saying no, they're rejecting the offer given by the directors. The 11th one, the director will not try and do it. But unfortunately, these people question that, why should we sacrifice it? So, how does skill development help in such a case?
Skill development comes in a way that it stabilizes dignity, a level of dignity in the artist. So, if you are the artist and you are not, you're not adding value to yourself, let's say diamonds are sold, diamonds are just there on the road only. So people will not be wearing them into very fancy jewelry and moving around, right? They come with their diamonds, come with their own level of dignity. Similarly, if artists starts giving themselves the importance and they have their own terms and conditions to work with and refrain from working with the entire manipulative terms and conditions of the production houses.
The nasty and dirty and dark side of the entertainment industry.
Which is the 90% of it. The very small 10% is what you see on the screen.
Right.
That is why it takes a lot of time for a movie to be released.
It's extremely dark industry, and I'm not saying it's only for entertainment industry, even it is there for IT industry as well. I've been very close, I witnessed this thing. Even IT industries are being actually run.
It is like,
where there is too much of money, there is a lot of darkness as well.
It is like, it's a very sad thing that's spreading around in every industry. You go to normal working class community also, those things are also there. Right now, because apart from the people on the higher board, anybody who needs money, anybody who's working to get money out there, and is dependent on a company or is dependent on an entire organization is in a position of being in that dark room.
They're very vulnerable.
Yes, and that is because they're vulnerable. So they're so vulnerable.
Vulnerability is there, which cannot be controlled by us. But the desperateness in a candidate can always be controlled and nurtured by skill development. That's where Karmasarathi
There is another
focus on not letting the candidate be desperate, and we explain why they should not be desperate.
like with skill development as Karmasarathi has, we also do one more thing which is job opportunities.
Right.
So that also kills a lot of this exploitation section.
Experiences, right?
So, but according to my personal thought, I think it is very important for artists to go ahead for a proper skill development. It is not that skill development where you are learning how to sip a tea like the Queen of London. Not like that. It's about how you carry yourself, how you're supposed to talk, how you're supposed to give yourself the priority, how you know what you want as a goal.
How you judge a situation, you judge an environment of that workplace. In that very few seconds of the interview, when you step into that place, before even the interview, the entire setup, you should be able to judge if it's a dark place, if it's the right place for you or not, what must be going behind the curtains, everything you should be able to judge. Candidates should actually be made so sharp like this that the employers also start becoming more smarter and more classy and try not take advantage of candidates who are in desperateness.
And then if you are already in if you're let's say if a candidate is already sharp, let's say this lady who is an aspiring artist and wants to be a movie actress and whatever. If she's in a vulnerable position, she will be pulled up in each director will be wanting to pull her into as many rooms you can say. But then if she is very smart, sharp, she is not vulnerable only. Because she is confident, she knows what she wants, and she'll go up with this director. She'll say, like, see, I got the talent and I want this movie. The director says, if the director's demand is something which is out of this box, then she can easily say, who the hell are you? I'll go and find somebody else. That it's like exactly how we walk into a shopping mall or how anybody goes to a street shopping.
But that is when, if there are actually any directors who are not into this, which is not the case. So that means the skill development, if we start now, in maybe next 10 years, 20 years, we start seeing the directors also who are not into this. That is when this lady who is rejecting and find somebody else can actually find somebody else.
If all the directors out there are nonsensical, as we're saying, and let's say all the artists, men, women, are into proper skill development, they all are not willing to sign up for anything which is going against their morals. So automatically the directors and the producers out there have to agree to them, because without this artist, nothing is going to happen. The movie is not going to go out only without the artist. Then they have to settle up for people who are not of the standards.
Right.
So, and if you want standard people, you have to follow the terms and conditions set by the artist itself. As I was saying, if you want to go to a mall, you have to pay the price of the MRP itself.
Then, what do you talk about when it is about modeling industry? Because it's not just about the casting, it's not just about how things run behind the ramp, in the entire green rooms, what all happened. It's very job. Many people say that, this is something very natural, this is a culture, this is how it is, and so I don't think that that's how it is supposed to be. Just because there is no choice that these things happen, and that should not be discounted by saying this is how it is, so that is how models also should be. Right, but even whether it is dressing also, models should have this choice of this kind of things I might not want to exhibit. If I'm just going and they're not mannequins, right? They're human beings who are doing that. So they should be able to have a choice. But these things I know, I've been with the people who are very close into the fashion industry, and they say that they don't have a choice to say to the designer, this is not something. It's always them who has a choice. This looks good on this person I want, that person I do not want. This other person has no choice on it. So how do we bring that choice through Karmasarathi by the skill development in all departments?
Modeling itself is such an industry where if a model is willing to sign up for any production house, it is you're giving yourself to a director. So you have to, before you sign the contract itself, you have to have certain clauses. Like there are ample amount of shows where you see models walking in nudes also, and that is a design decision. But it is not correct definitely, because that's how you don't want to portray your, like, the entire thing is not supposed to be portrayed like that. So it all is it's a mass consciousness, you can say. If people out
Yeah, it
there,
is 99% of the things that were there on the ramp end up in the dustbin. Nobody wears
nobody
those
buys
things.
that, right? Till
So
now also you
that
see.
means that is just for this eye feast.
Exactly. So it's like, it has modeling ramps and all of this is done like a huge bar, but which is not actually a bar.
Yeah, in the name of ramp.
And it's like a huge PR thing. All of those comes into the picture. But when you
Lot of makeup industry also takes advantage of this.
makeup, clothing, then
Because more than the clothes, I
architecture.
think it's the makeup industry that's actually showing that, or entertaining, provoking kids and youngsters, women especially, to do more and more makeup because they want to look like a so and so model, but they're actually not directly saying that it's for the makeup, but it's for the clothes.
The funny part is nobody can look like that model because the model itself doesn't look like the picture. Everything is in Photoshop.
Right.
And it is very sad, like even though people know about it, it is like, they
And
don't
even if you look like
make
that,
sure.
what will you achieve? Because out there, when you go in the actual real world, that doesn't pay you any money. It doesn't fetch
It
anything.
just gets a couple of head twists and, like, things which are totally unnecessary.
Right.
But at the end of the day, to, like, to be successful, you have to work hard.
Right.
And this has been said by the most successful people. There is no shortcut to success. So I do not think that models definitely need a skill development. It is nowhere necessary that they go up and sign up each contract. There are many models who go up and sign, like, 6, 7 agencies at once, and all of them comes with their individual terms and conditions.
Right.
Where in skill development, when
Is
you
it
are
possible for us to do the same thing in TV industry also?
TV industry is again same to the modeling industry only. Actually, if you see, all of these industries are very much same because it all comes down to that point what people would like to see. So, and things are always very fabricated.
Why do you think that people are wanting to see? That means the change of mindset and the attitude of audience also has to change. If they're actually focused on their careers, if they're actually focused on that skill development, if their mindset was in a certain way, they'll even stop actually enjoying certain kind of things. Where Karmasarathi has to again come in between. That if I'm not enjoying certain kind of things, then the TRP is not there, and therefore such kind of productions do not come.
Right. We cannot blame the businessman out there who is producing all of this thing. The ones who are supposed to blame is us itself, because, for instance, let's take into the concept of Big Boss. It is like, they don't have to pay us for this thing, but like, Big Boss is something that people around entire India, and Big Brother has gone to West also, and it's there north, south of India, everywhere. That people like to sit together with their family and watch other people literally fighting, and we feel good looking at that. That okay, we are not in that state of mind. Where that is why it is so much encouraged from the last 10 years. The Big Boss is going on season after season. It is coming because we like to see things of that, like, maybe feel good about ourselves, and also many things which are not necessary cannot be put out on the TV, because that's the message that the generation is coming to. That's because whatever you're listening is
Why don't we
getting
run
said.
campaigns on this and try and see if we can change something?
The only I think running campaigns is just like, it's useless, because the only thing that can be done is changing the artist itself, who doesn't wants to do only something like that, which is making them the clown. So once you are not the clown anymore, there is no other people to laugh at you, and automatically people will
With
settle down.
this, I think actually our next episode will be connected to this topic as a follow-up, because I just remember there was this particular campaign that I wanted to run on Karmasarathi, which can actually, where audience can start controlling which kind of films an artist will go and sign up for, which I will talk about in the next episode. But I think that's one of the, if not many, if not permanent, very small, funny solution. We'll try that out, yeah.
Right. So bottom line of today could be that it is very important for anybody everybody working in the entertainment industry, let it be the producers also, who will clearly deny for any skill development, specifically the artists, to have skill development, to have a dignity out there, and to present themselves in a way with their own terms and conditions, so that nobody is in that position to exploit them anymore. And anybody out there who is not willing to follow the terms and conditions will be not be recruited only. Just like how if you're not following the laws of the country, you'll be evicted.
Right.
The same thing.
Sure. Next episode, we'll come back with the very interesting campaign that I was talking about, which might actually work. We will try it out. Thank you.